Coming to you live from Sky Manning YouTube Sports Talk. This is a very special edition here this morning. I am doing a Daytona 500 special preview. I'm going to get you ready for Sunday's Great American Race. I'm going to take you back down memory lane, and I'm also going to give you my pick for the 500 at the close of the show. But first things first, Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time on Fox. Coverage from Daytona starts. The green flag is about 2:30. Enjoy the 500 Sunday, because you know I am, and I'm going to let you know now. Sunday night, probably sometime after the checkered flag, I will be doing a Daytona 500 post-race show to give you my complete reaction to Sunday's Daytona 500, and it's going to be well worth the excitement. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it is go time. I got a lot to talk about here. I'm probably going to be here for about 20 minutes to a half hour because there's a lot to cover, a lot of changes this year. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is the last restrictor plate race as we know it. Starting in April, the restrictor plate rules are going out the window. I'll address that at another time because they're making changes to the cars. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. But this Sunday, enjoy the Daytona 500, 190 mile an hour speeds. Everybody running 3x3. It's going to be a great race Sunday, but let's go right into it. First, the starting lineup. On the pole, William Byron captured his first career pole. It's his first career pole. He joins a list of very few drivers that ever captured their first ever pole for the Daytona 500. Starting on the outside of the front row, Alex Bowman driving Dale Jr.'s old car number 88. In row 2, the two dual winners on Thursday, Kevin Harvick, he will roll off third, the 2007 winner. Joey Logano, he will roll off fourth, the 2015 champion. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will roll off fifth on Sunday. Sorry about that. Starting sixth in the Stewart-Haas Ford, Clint Bowyer. Rolling off seventh on Sunday, Paul Menard driving for the Wood Brothers. Starting eighth, Eric Almirola. 1 year ago, he got turned on with less than a half a lap to go by Austin Dillon. Can he come back and make some revenge? We'll have to wait and see on that. Ninth, Matt DiBenedetto. The highest starting spot for him in his career. Very impressive week for him. Rolling off 10th on Sunday, Denny Hamlin, the 2016 winner. Starting 11th, Martin Truex Jr. Back in 2016, he came this close, literally, to winning his first Daytona 500. And starting 12th, driving for a new team, driving for Ganassi, Kurt Busch, the 2017 winner. Rolling off 13th on Sunday, Bubba Wallace. Last year he finished second to the Daytona 500 on which was very unexpected. And last year's pole winner, Chase Elliott, will be rolling off 18th. Rolling off 19th on Sunday, Ryan Newman, the 2008 winner. And then starting 20th, the defending champion, Austin Dillon. He will roll off 20th on Sunday. Rolling off 21st will be Ryan Pierce. 22nd will be Ty Dillon. Rolling off 23rd, Daniel Suarez. He's with the new team. He's with Stewart-Haas Racing. He took over Kurt Busch's old ride. And David Reagan will roll off 24th. Rolling off 25th will be Parker Kligerman. The 26th spot, Kyle Larson. Starting 27th will be Landon Castle. And rolling off 28th will be Eric Jones in one of the Joe Gibbs Toyotas. Rolling off 29th will be Daniel Heinrich. And rolling off 30th, Brendan Gaughan. Starting 31st in a shocking twist of events, Kyle Busch, a former Cup champion. He rolls off 31st on Sunday. Corey LaJoie will start 32nd. Matt Tifft will roll off 33rd. Michael McDowell will start 34th. Starting 35th on Sunday will be Brad Keselowski, a former Cup champion. He's starting at the back of the pack. And Ross Chastain will start 36th. Cody Ware will start 37th. BJ McLeod 38th. Tyler Reddick 39th. And Casey Mears 40th. So those are your 40 cars for this Sunday's Daytona 500. Now, I want to focus on a few drivers that I think have a shot at winning it. Kevin Harvick Won a dual race on Thursday night, a former winner. He's one of the guys I have on my watch list for Sunday's Daytona 500. He's been in victory lane in the 500 before. Joey Logano won the race 4 years ago. A dual winner on Thursday. So the two dual winners have the best shot. You notice we have Chevrolets on the front row from the Hendrick Racing Team. And then from like 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, oh, nothing but Fords. The Fords are strong this year at Daytona. Denny Hamlin, the first Toyota. He will start the 2016 winner. Look out for him. Kurt Busch. He's now driving for Chip Ganassi. Bubba Wallace, driving for Richard Petty. Could he possibly win the Daytona 500? He came close 1 year ago. And Jimmy Johnson, what about him? Jimmy Johnson, twice, he won the Auto Park, he won the Clash last Sunday. Twice the winner of the Daytona 500. Can he do it again? Ryan Newman, the 2008 winner. Could he win it for a second time? Austin Dillon, the defending champion, rolls off 20th. His chances of winning the 500 are not that good. But the two guys that I'm the most concerned about, starting at the back of the pack, are Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski. They both had a horrible time in their qualifiers on Thursday night. So there's a lot to talk about there. Could Kyle Busch come from the back of the pack and win it? That remains to be seen. Brad Keselowski, driving for Roger Penske, could he do what Kurt Busch did when he back in 2008, come from the back of the pack? The difference with Kurt Busch, he started dead last in 08 and finished second. But Brad Keselowski is rolling off 35th. Now, Bobby Allison back in 1978, if you remember right back in 78, he had a crash in his qualifying race, started 32nd, went to the front in no time. He went right to the front, stole the race from Buddy Baker back in 78, and that's how Bobby Allison won his first Daytona 500. So now, everybody's been asking me, who's the best bet? I'll give you that answer here after a little bit. But the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, this year's Daytona 500 is going to be well worth the watching. Paul Menard, could he possibly put the Wood brothers back in victory lane? The Wood brothers haven't won a Daytona since the 70s. Wait a minute, the last time the Wood brothers won a Daytona, Buddy Baker in 1983 in the Firecracker. That was the last time the Wood brothers won a Daytona. Wait, back up. 2011 in the Daytona 500, Trevor Bayne. He got his only career win in the 500. Jimmy Johnson, what about him? Driving for Rick Hendrick. He had a bad season last year, one of his worst seasons he's ever had. The 7-time champion struggled. But could he have what it takes to win? He won the Clash last Sunday, and he's the only multiple winner in the field this time. Jamie McMurray, could he come out of the pack and steal it? That remains to be seen. A lot of these guys here are looking for their first 500 crown. And if memory serves me correctly, and I'm going to tell you something. Think of all those years with Dale Earnhardt Sr. Dale Sr., many times, he should have won the 500. He was so close so many times when it should have been his. In 1980, he had a shot at winning it. And all of a sudden, he had a loose lug nut, had to come into the pits with just a few laps to go, lost the lead pack, lost the lead draft. I think he finished 5th. In 1986, he trailed Jeff Bodine for almost the last 50 to 60 laps. He ran out of gas with just a couple laps to go, and it cost him. In 1989, he was leading the race with 10 laps to go. Had to get a quick gas and go, and that cost him. 1990, he had to leave with about 10 laps to go. Cut a right rear tire down coming on the last lap with about less than a quarter of a lap to go. 91, he had a shot at winning, and him and Davey Allison got together. And you remember in 1993, the Dale and Dale show? Dale Earnhardt led most of that race. Dale Jarrett passed him when he was driving for Joe Gibbs. And the Dale and Dale show in 96 came back. Dale Jarrett won it again. And then in 97, he got crashed with 10 laps to go. Then finally, in 98, 21 years ago, just a few days ago, Dale Earnhardt Sr. finally won the Daytona 500. And can you believe it's almost been 18 years since we lost Dale Sr. in the 500? It'll be 19 years ago tomorrow. It was the day that we lost Dale Earnhardt. It's unbelievable. and Daytona. When you think of the names like Petty. Lee Petty winning the first one. Then his son Richard winning 7 Daytona 500s. He was the king. Cale Yarborough, a 4-time winner. And also, too, Dale Jarrett, Bobby Allison, Jeff Gordon. Jimmy Johnson has a chance to be a member of the 3-timers club at Daytona. He's only one of a few men ever to win the 500 3 times. He could join Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, and Bobby Allison as 3-time winners of the 500. And what about Buddy Baker? 1980. He set the race record of 177 miles an hour. And that which still stands today. In all those years. And you know what? In Yarborough's victory, 1983. Think back to 1983 for a few minutes. You know, the Chevrolet was coming out with their beautiful Monte Carlo, and Ford was coming out with their sleek new Ford Thunderbird. Cale Yarborough had a Monte Carlo he brought to Daytona, ran over 200 miles an hour in qualifying, wrecked a car, lost a car. And you know what? Yarborough, he had to go to a Hardee's show car. He had to get another Hardee's car from a Hardee's restaurant, which was a Pontiac short track car. The Pontiac came out of nowhere to beat Ford and Chevrolet at their own game to win the 83 Daytona 500. That was a week that nobody slept. Waddell Wilson, Cale Yarborough's crew chief, and Harry Ranier, the car owner, said it was absolutely unbelievable what we did. And when you think of the years at Daytona, in the 60s, Lee Petty, Junior Johnson winning it, Mario Andretti winning in 67, Richard Petty scoring his first in 64 in a Plymouth. That was something to think about. And you know, when I think of Daytona, you got to think of the name Earnhardt. You know, I talked about Dale's only victory in 98. All those years of him being so close but yet so far away. Dale Jr., his son, has won the Daytona 500 twice. In 2001 and again in 2004 and again in 2014. I've seen a lot of drivers come out of nowhere. And sometimes the Daytona 500 has been decided on a last lap pass. Sometimes it's been decided on a final lap wreck. 1976, Richard Petty and David Pearson got together. Petty couldn't get his car going. Pearson kept his car going, and only going about maybe 40, 50 miles an hour, Pearson won the race. 3 years later in 79, Donnie Allison and Cale Yarborough, they had their crash and got in a fist fight right there on CBS with a live national television audience tuning in. And think back, 1 year ago, Eric Almirola got ripped off when Austin Dillon took him out of the race with just a half a lap to go. I've seen it all at Daytona, folks. What will we see this Sunday? Daytona, the very name of the track, brings the legends. And the bottom line is, we're going to have one whale of a race on Sunday afternoon. The weather's going to be gorgeous in Sunday and down in Daytona Beach, Florida. I checked the Weather Channel about 30 minutes ago. Sunshine, partly cloudy, no rain, maybe a very, very, very slim chance of a sprinkle very late in the day. But I'll keep it. But the Weather Channel says everything's good to go for this year's Daytona 500. And this race, my friends, is going to be a race well worth watching. I've already given the starting lineup. William Byron on the pole, Alex Bowman on the outside. 2 Chevrolets occupy the front row. And then from positions 3 through 8, nothing but Fords. Then Toyotas starting 9th and 10th, Matt DiBenedetto and Denny Hamlin, the 2016 champion. Martin Truex Jr., he starts 11th. Kurt Busch with a new ride, driving for Chip Ganassi this time. Bubba Wallace came short 1 year ago. Ryan Blaney, the second Penske car, rolls off 14th. And as far as the other Penske car goes, Brad Keselowski, he rolls off 35th. So his chances of winning the Daytona 500 are not that good. And if you're looking up and down the lineup for this year's 500, a lot of great big names. And I've seen stranger things happen at Daytona. What will happen this year? Will we have a photo finish, or will we have a finish like we did last year? Only time will tell that. But with new people and new rides, it's going to be hard to keep up. Daniel Suarez has gone to Stewart Haas Racing. And Kyle Busch, he's inked a new 3-year deal with Joe Gibbs Racing. And Kyle Busch doesn't have much of a chance. He's rolling off 31st. Don't let that fool you. Like I said before in 78, Bobby Allison started 32nd, went right to the front to beat Buddy Baker with just a few laps to go to win it. And you know, my mindset when it comes to something like this is very simple. Bring me the trophy or bring me the steering wheel. And sometimes I've seen drivers do both. Bring me the trophy, and sometimes they've had to bring in the steering wheel because the car's totally wrecked. I've seen stranger things happen. What will happen this time? Only time will tell that. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be straight up with you. If you look up and down the lineup, if you have a pick for the 500, share it with me, and I'll be more than happy to put it on the air. But I'm going to say this now. This year's Daytona 500, the 61st edition of the Great American Race, is going to be memorable. It's also the final restrictor plate race for a good long while, because starting in April, NASCAR has gone to a new rules package for Daytona and Talladega, because they want to see some more racing. They don't want to see any more of these games that follow the leader. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the 500. But what will happen in April at Talladega? Only time will tell that. But this year's NASCAR Monster Energy Cup season promises to be a good one. Today, at 2:30, we have the Xfinity race at Daytona. 120 laps, 300 miles, and we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And what happens today will give us an idea of what's going to happen on Sunday afternoon in the 500. And with a lot at stake, anything can happen. Last night's truck race was something to remember. Only maybe 7 or 8 trucks finished the whole thing, but hey, sometimes that's the price you have to pay. And the bottom line is, Speed Weeks ends tomorrow. And after that, it's on to Hotlanta, where anything can happen there. What will happen there? Because of the new rules package. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I will say this. This year's the Daytona 500 is the biggest race. NASCAR starts off their season with the biggest race of them all. And what will happen? Only time will tell that. But this year, with a lot at stake in the 500, anything can happen. And it usually does. And here's the deal. The best drivers, normally the best, not always the best driver wins the race. Sometimes it's pure luck that'll put you in victory lane at Daytona. Of all the former winners, Harvick, Logano, Hamlin, Busch, Kurt Busch, Ryan Newman, Austin Dillon, the defending champion. Can he win back-to-back? Can Austin Dillon do what only Richard Petty, Cale Yarborough, and Sterling Marlin have done? Win the 500 back-to-back. We'll have to wait and see on Sunday. But Austin Dillon starting 20th. His chances of winning back-to-back are not that good. If anybody had to give me an opportunity, and if anybody were to pick right now, I would have to go with somebody from positions 3 through 8, all the Fords, because the Fords have been fast. The new Ford Mustang, how is that going to hold up for 500 miles? The Chevrolet Impala, how will that do for 500 grueling miles? So the Mustangs are the new concept in the Monster Energy Cup series. Last year they were running the old Ford Fusion. This time Ford is going with the Mustang in the Monster Energy Cup series. And I applaud NASCAR for doing that. I'm going to say it now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for my closing thoughts. And it's also time to give my pick. First, my closing thoughts, and I'm going to give you my pick before I go. This year's Daytona 500 promises to be a great one. Ford has won the last 9 of 11 restrictor plate races. That's something to think about going into Sunday. Throw all that out the window. Throw all those stats out the window. It's a new season. It's a clean slate. What happens today in the Xfinity race may give us an idea of what's going to happen in the 500 tomorrow. And we got a lot of great cars and a lot of great drivers, and we got some former winners in the field. The Clash winner, Jimmy Johnson, won the Clash last Sunday. The only multiple winner in the field. Jamie McMurray, the 2010 champion. So, here it is, folks. My pick for the Daytona 500 is going to be none other than... And my pick is going to be none other than Kevin Harvick, the 2007 champion. He rolls off third on Sunday, and he won his dual race as well. So Kevin Harvick is going to be my pick for the Daytona 500. Can he win it for a second time? Only time will tell that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think Kevin Harvick has the best shot of winning the 500. He's starting third behind William Byron and Alex Bowman. Now, I know we got Joey Logano right next to him. He's going to be hungry for his second victory. So, folks, I'll say it one more time. Kevin Harvick is going to be my pick for this Sunday's Daytona 500. And that's all there is to it. And the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, I look for Stewart-Haas Racing to go back to victory lane under Kevin Harvick. And that is my pick for this Sunday's Daytona 500. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I want to thank you guys so much for taking this time with me here this morning for my Daytona 500 special preview. Please join me tonight for my college basketball wrap-up show tonight at about 11 p.m. Eastern time, and I will have my Daytona 500 post-race show after the Daytona 500 this coming tomorrow night. After the checker flag, you'll get my full wrap-up of the 500, and the bottom line is it's going to be a great race tomorrow afternoon. I don't know. My Daytona 500 post-race special may not be about 8:30 in the evening because the checkered flag probably won't fall to about 7 o'clock or 7:30 because 1 o'clock the coverage starts on Fox, the green flag at 2:30. And what will happen on race day? Only time will tell that. And folks, this promises to be one of the best Daytona 500s we've had in years. If the clash last Sunday was any indication and the dual races were any indication, be ready for a great battle on Sunday afternoon. All right, folks, you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for being with me, and God bless. Goodbye, everybody, and thank you.